Hello, and welcome back to our investigation of the gates that lead up to January the 21st, which is, of course, the Rave New Year. In terms of our New Year journey and our exploration into these energies, we could say that a really deep process begins when the sun transits into the 54th gate. This is the marrying maiden, the gate of ambition. Together with gate 32, it makes the channel of transformation, a design of being driven. And its polarity, its opposition in the wheel, is gate 53, which is the gate of beginnings, the gate of development. During this stage, we can begin to look forward. We can begin to ask ourselves questions like, who are my best allies? Who are those beings out there that I can work with, that I can trust, that I can rely on? Because these are the keys to ambition and transformation. We've spent the last 6 days exploring the energy of gate 38, the gate of the fighter, and its polarity, gate 39, the gate of provocation. Were you able to find any space in your life to contemplate what gave your life purpose, what you found worth fighting for, and what you were provoked into over this last cycle? If anything comes up for you as you explore these themes, you please feel invited to share your experience if that feels correct for you. Leave a note in the comments, leave a discussion point perhaps, because whatever one person is experiencing, that can be a real gift for everyone else, because you're the only one who's experiencing that. This is our differentiated, unique journey, and nobody else's experience of gate 38 will have been the same as yours. So if you have something that you would like to share, then I for one, would be very interested to read your reflections. And of course there's no pressure to do that either, because it is a personal journey. So gate 54, which we move into on the 5th of January at 5:29 GMT, it's in tribal circuitry. We've come out of individuality and we are now into the tribe on the ego side, the side it's the ego side. When you look at the circuitry of the body graph, actually it's interesting, but you could imagine that the collective, the circuit there is like it holds everything together, because it's the outside, it's like the hug or the skin that holds the body together. Individuality sort of goes through the center, and we've got the channel. Good Lord, I think the sun has melted my brain. Integration. We have integration, which is like that backbone. It's the core of individuality and survival, and that's around everything else is built around that sort of individuality. And then tribal circuitry is almost like the insides. It's almost like the beating heart of humanity. It encompasses the ego center, the heart center, and it is all about the way that humanity expresses. Within tribal circuitry, we find bargains, we find mating, nurturing and caring, values, principles, need. We find the family, we find friendship. These are all the sorts of elements that come through the tribe. So the gate of ambition, it's tribal, and a major keynote for the tribe is support. The tribe can be sticky, it's materialistic, it's about the survival of the gene pool, the survival of the species. The tribe doesn't easily invite the collective or the individual in, not unless it needs a little bit of new blood for the gene pool, of course. And then it's like, doors open, especially for the individual. The tribe will be much more comfortable getting the individual in than they will the collective. The tribe can be very set in its ways. It knows what's good for it. It knows what's always worked. Doesn't necessarily see the need to change that. It likes continuity. This is gate 32, at the other end of the channel from the 54. So even though it acknowledges at the same time that the only thing that endures is change, really enjoys its continuity. So the I Ching, it calls gate 54 the marrying maiden, and this name tells us a story. It's the journey from being the lowest concubine to becoming empress. This is the path that we can take from gate 54, which goes all the way up to gate 45, the gate of the gatherer, the ruler. This is where the maiden sets her sights. And she will need some support to get where she is driven to go. Perhaps a court counsellor or one of the emperor's aides, or perhaps even the support of the other concubines, those who will recognize something in her that will ultimately benefit the whole community, the whole tribe. And this sums up the energy around gate 54. You could say it's from rags to riches. The tribe doesn't really go it alone. It's not like the individual who doesn't want to be influenced, doesn't want to be interfered with. And it's not the collective with its sharing everything together. The support of the tribe is about other people. Of the 7 channels in the tribal circuit, 4 of them are projector channels. Support walks hand in hand with recognition. Someone recognizes your potential and they support your ambitions. But remember the stickiness of the tribe. This isn't necessarily going to be altruistic support. There is likely to be some payback needed somewhere along the line. A bargain will have been struck. I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. As long as there is some mutual scratching, our ambitions will align. But woe betide the one who takes the support and doesn't pay back. There's a drive here. Gate 54 is in the root centre. There's a push, there's a fuel. That drive to rise up, to transform. And it's that fuel for transformation. And it takes the whole tribe, it benefits everyone in that process. Gate 54 is grounded in gate 53, another root gate. It's the gate of beginnings and development. And it supports the gate of ambition in starting something new, having the ambition to bring something new into the world. Something that's going to benefit the tribe, something that's going to support all those people within the community, and maybe introduce new resources, or something that's going to help the tribe be the best version that it can possibly be, with the most powerful and successful and resourceful gene pool. It's the tribe that's out there beating its chest saying, hey, bring us your blood because we are so good and we're only going to get better. It's the tribe that's going to outlive every other tribe because it's got the strongest genes, it's got the most resources, all of that stuff, all that materialistic stuff that goes along with the tribe. And there's nothing bad about any of this, but it's not, I am absolutely in no way putting the tribe down. I have one channel, it's tribal, it's my 3740, so the bargains and the stickiness and oh, what a relief when I learned about human design, because this had been my experience in my life, but I didn't know why. And now I do, and so I'm not in any way, putting the tribe down, because I don't know where I'd be without my tribe. I love my tribe. I love you all. So anyway, I have some suggestions for you for contemplation over the next 6 days as we travel through Gate 54. First of all, who do I support? Who do I support? Who do my ambitions support? And also, who supports me in my ambitions? Because there has to be that, looking at it from both sides. What new beginnings can I see that will bring that energy for the tribe to lift themselves up and transform their experience? Am I supporting myself in my own ambitions? This is quite an interesting question sometimes to check, because we often just get onto some kind of a treadmill, and the ambitions we have, especially maybe if we've got an open G, we could think about that. Because are we actually living someone else's life? Are we taking on the ambitions of someone else because either we really like them and admire them and want to be like them, which can happen when you've got the open G, or someone has said, oh, you really should be doing this, and you're like, thank you, okay, I'll go off and do that. Is that something? Where did your ambitions come from? Have you found them through your strategy and authority? I mean, that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? When you are committing to the human design experiment, everything is about strategy and authority. So do I recognize my own ambitions? Do I limit my ambitions, or do I have wild, crazy ambitions? Sometimes we actually have to take ourselves out of the tribal context, even when we are tribal beings, and see, well, is this actually any good for me? And that's, we bring ourselves back to our strategy and authority. Is this a strategy and authority kind of ambition, or is my mind playing with this one? And then a final contemplation that we could bring into it, which is equally as valid as all the rest, is who hasn't supported me this year? Who doesn't support my ambitions? So what I'm offering you with these contemplations is an exploration of things that we either take for granted or just don't usually pay much attention to. So perhaps there have been interactions in this last cycle that you could look at in a different light. And I invite you to look at this through the greater view of your own design, not just through the window of Gate 54, but how does it fit into the rest of your design? If you have an open splenic centre, you may be holding on to someone who doesn't support you because of a fear that you have around letting them go. If you have an open heart centre, you may be supporting someone because you are trying to prove something. If you have an open solar plex, perhaps you support someone else's ambitions because you don't want to rock the boat by withdrawing your support or voicing your own concerns or whatever around whatever it is. And of course you can look at your type and bring that into your exploration and contemplation as well. Were you invited to support? Were you asked or were you informed that your support was required? Was the communication clear and correct? And as always, as I said, there's no judgment here at all. These are ideas to play with and to put some attention on, should you feel so inclined. And it's also part of a step-by-step movement into the new energies that are coming towards us, the new beginnings. Now, what could you do differently in the new cycle? Is it something that you would fight for? Is this new ambition something that really fires up your blood? No gate lives in isolation within this amazing system. There's a story that runs through all the gates, and it's something that we can bring into the contemplation again. Can we fight the good fight for our own ambitions? Can we do it with joy from that place of stillness? What is a new beginning that we could bring into it? And look at all of these things. Is it going to provoke someone else? And if it does, hey, is that actually a bad thing? And then, of course, a question as we go forward through this journey, step by step, is might this ambition of mine, or might this support of the ambition of someone else, might this lead to my inner truth? Because that's where we're heading. So these are just some things for you to play with. You might have other ideas yourself, and if you have other contemplations you feel would be of value, please, again, put them in the comments, and then we can all learn together with this. And I can incorporate them if I do this again next year, because this is driven by you guys. Like the ideas that I have all come from discussions with other people or reading Ra's work. There's so much here that is a collective effort. What I offer to you is not Bambaji alone. This is Bambaji plus support, my support crew. So I will be back in a few days' time with Gate 61, which is the gate of mystery, the gate of inner truth. And until then, enjoy your contemplations for ambition, and I will see you then. Okay, go gently, take care. I hope you can hear me all right, because it's so noisy here. It's not your average. Well, it's not England. It's not England. I will see you in a few days' time. Go gently, and take care.